All right, let's dive in. We're about to explore maybe the most complex and fascinating financial market on the planet. And guess what? It's the one happening right between your ears. I mean, you know that feeling, right? Where it feels like you're literally arguing with yourself. One part of your brain is the responsible one, saying, nope, save that money. But then there's this other voice just screaming, but look at that shiny new thing. And you're just kind of stuck in the middle of this mental tug of war. Well, it turns out that's not just a metaphor we use. It is a real battle. Neuroeconomics, this amazing field, shows us that this conflict is a literal clash between different systems in your brain, each with its own agenda. So today, we're going ringside to watch a few of these battles play out. So, our first stop? It's a classic battleground. It's where your deep-seated sense of fairness goes head-to-head with pure, cold, hard cash. It all kicks off with this really clever experiment called the Ultimatum Game. It's super simple. Imagine player A gets $10. Their only job is to offer a split to player B. Now player B has a choice. They can accept the deal, and you both walk away with some cash, or they can reject it. And if they do that, you both get absolutely nothing. Zero. Now, if you're thinking logically, I mean purely logically, you should accept any offer, right? Even $1 is better than $0. But let's be real. Imagine someone offers you just $1 and keeps 9 for themselves. How does that feel? Does that little feeling of being totally ripped off start to bubble up? I bet it does. And this is where it gets so cool, because it perfectly illustrates that internal conflict. When you get that insulting lowball offer, two specific parts of your brain just light up. You've got the anterior insula, that's your emotional hub, and it's basically screaming, no way, that's totally unfair, I'm angry. But at the exact same time, your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, that's your calm, logical planner, is just whispering, hey, it's free money, just take it. And here's the kicker, the really fascinating part. Researchers found that the more your insula fires up, the more disgust and anger you feel, the more likely you are to just reject the offer and walk away with nothing. Think about that. Your emotional brain can literally overpower your rational brain. You'll choose to punish someone for being unfair, even if it costs you money. It's a huge insight into why we sometimes walk away from deals that, on paper, actually make sense for us. Okay, let's switch gears. We're moving to our next battle. This one isn't about fairness, but it's a struggle. Man, it's a struggle we all face pretty much every single day. I'm talking about patience. You know the drill. It's the ultimate financial dilemma, isn't it? Do you splurge and get that small reward right now, or do you fight that temptation for a much bigger, better payoff way down the road? Well, it turns out your brain basically has these two competing systems for time. First, you've got the impulsive now system, the beta system. It's deep in your limbic system, and it's all about instant gratification. It's the voice that wants the reward today. But then you've got the patient later system, the delta system. This one's in your prefrontal cortex, the grown-up in the room, the one that's capable of long-term planning and thinking about those bigger future rewards. And what's so wild is that brain scans actually show this battle happening in real time. When people are offered a smaller reward they can get immediately, that impulsive now system just lights up like a Christmas tree. But when they manage to choose the bigger, delayed reward, it's the patient later system that's buzzing with activity. This gives us a real physical reason for that constant struggle we all have with self-control. It's right there in our wiring. All right, for our last piece of this puzzle, we're going to shift gears again. We're moving from looking at brain activity to looking at biology. And trust me, what they found here is, well, it's pretty unexpected. No, I'm serious. Go ahead. Take a quick look at your own hand, your right hand, because a surprising clue about your appetite for risk might be literally staring right back at you. So what are we looking at? It's something called the 2D/4D ratio. Basically, it's the length of your index finger, that's the second digit, or 2D, compared to the length of your ring finger, the fourth digit, 40. And here's the deal. A lower ratio, which means your ring finger is noticeably longer than your index finger, is a biological marker. It suggests you were exposed to more androgens like testosterone before you were even born. Okay, so with that in mind, researchers went to a high-stakes trading floor in London. They measured this exact ratio on 49 male traders. And these aren't just any traders. These are the high-frequency guys whose entire job is making risky split-second decisions all day, every day. The result was pretty astonishing. They found a direct link. The lower a trader's 2D/40 ratio, so the longer their ring finger was compared to their index finger, the greater their long-term profit was. It's wild. It suggests that something that happened in the womb, your hormone exposure, might actually have an influence on your risk-taking and decision-making skills decades later. Okay, but hold on. This is the really, really important part. A huge disclaimer. The scientists themselves were quick to point out that this link is probably strongest in jobs that need those quick gut reaction reflexes and a big appetite for risk. For jobs that need more complex, strategic, long-term thinking, yeah, this biological marker probably doesn't matter nearly as much. So no, this is not destiny written in your hand, not by a long shot. So, we've seen these internal battles over fairness, over patience, and now we've even thrown biology into the mix. What does this all add up to? Let's tie it all together. So, let's recap. We've seen how our emotional brain can go to war with our logical brain over what's fair. We've watched that impulsive beta system wrestle with the patient delta system for control over our choices. And incredibly, we've even seen how a biological trace from before we were born can be linked to how we handle risk. What all of this shows us is that your financial mind, it's not some single rational calculator. It's way more complex and way more interesting than that. It's like a human algorithm, constantly crunching these different inputs, your emotions, your logic, even your deep down biology, to come up with a final decision. So, knowing about all these hidden forces that are constantly shaping your choices, it doesn't give you a magic answer, but it does give you a powerful new way to look at your own decisions. The next time you feel that internal tug of war, that argument in your head, maybe now you'll have a better idea of what that battle is really all about. So, knowing all this, what decision will you make next?